on, girl. Come on, big girl. So a lot of people are saying about how unsustainable cow's milk is, and they say, well, it's really important that you you give up cow's milk and you go to nut milks like almond milk or soy milk or something like that, and how much more sustainable it is for the planet, etc. And I totally understand the idea about standard dairy practice is really unsustainable and all the rest, but what I'm advocating for is that we have smaller pieces of land with people who've got house cows and house goats, and effectively the fat of the land is able to be utilised to create something which is a high protein kind of transition from grass to protein. And so effectively this land here, if I didn't have a cow to graze it, I would have to get a tractor in to cut it before the fire season, and which would use fossil fuels. And if I was going down that track of saying about drinking, like carton nut milks, then that stuff's got to come from somewhere. It's got to be produced somewhere, usually by a tractor, usually in a factory, usually using industrial inputs, and it's got to get here as well after however far it's got to travel. Whereas this is literally in the paddock, high protein, easy to digest, good quality milk from an animal that's very happy to give over a little bit, and it's not aggro or anything. It's just standing here quite happily. There's a lot of vacant land across Australia. The whole country used to be filled with people, and now it's empty because of the mega farms and the big industrial farming concepts. And I advocate for a back to the land movement, for rezonings of farmland into smaller blocks that are not based around a industrial model, but a quality of life and regenerative community model. Small towns have basically started to become unviable towns because people have had to move out to go to the city. And effectively what that means is you get more people in the city who are reliant completely on an industrial food model that's based around supermarkets, and which is completely unsustainable. Even under brands that are organic or regenerative or whatever they say that it's going to be, if it's got to come in a tractor, be made by a tractor somewhere far away, put in a truck and brought to you after being in a factory, it's that's not any future for us, and it's certainly doesn't give us any self-reliance or resilience within the community for shocks or those sorts of things. So a regenerative community is one where community works together to provide the needs of the community through informal share and gift arrangements, and through mutual obligation to each other, and for the joy of sharing. So if I'm producing 5 litres of milk a day through my cow, you don't have to have a cow, but you might have bees, and you can produce the honey for the milk. Or you might have fruit or nuts, or you might be you might be a musician and can provide entertainment for us to be able to sit down and listen to and dance to or sing to or whatever. But a regenerative community is that, you know, where you're making a contribution towards each other and for the betterment of a society, which is just so incredibly needed at the moment with our isolation from each other and our disconnection from the earth. We're needing to reconnect with each other and with the earth, which means, you know, back in the day when my grandparents were around, everybody had a garden. A lot of people had a house goat. If you were lucky, you had a house cow and a few acres. Coronavirus is kind of like a reset for people to decide, you know, what do they want? Do they want to be stuck in a police state in the city, you know, with the army patrolling the street to make sure you're not out after 8 o'clock at night? Or, you know, do you want to have the freedom of a community that's looking out for each other, and one where you're connected with nature and each other? And the thing is that realistically, living in the country is cheaper. So you don't have to work the same, you know, extended hours. And how about this one, girl? Okay, if I take some of this, you let me take some of that? What do you reckon, miss? You can let me? Come on, girl. Okay, is it a bit sore, that one? She's got so much milk. The back ones are not getting drunk, you know, from the calf. So while I'm taking the milk, it's a real relief for her as well, because it just takes that pressure off her. She just is such a big producer.